Creativeworld is the world's largest trade fair for hobby, crafts and art supplies, which unites the most important DIY industry manufacturers from all over the world. I was invited as press or artist influencer for the second year this time, and I had the pleasure to visit the fair in Frankfurt, Germany. I've been jumping from booth to booth, asking to the main art supplies manufacturers all over the world what they were presenting as new product this year, and asking for collaboration possibilities to the brands I love the most. In this video vlog, again, this year I'm telling you about what was my impression, and particularly I want to focus this year on the new products, the products that you most likely will find in the next days in the shop. So this year I took the train from Munich to Frankfurt. It was a TGV, which is a French train, never took before, kinda tiny. And I took the chance to sketch the person who was sleeping in front of me on the train. This was me, super sleepy on a Saturday morning. A friend of mine came with me, she was sleeping as well. And here arrived in Frankfurt, a very sunny day, as usual during winter times in Germany. Either it's snowy or it's sunny. Problem is the rest of the year. Skyscrapers gives a very unique view to this city. Here is the entrance of the art fair Creativeworld, and we start our journey. So the very first booth that catched my attention was Kuretake, Japanese brand. They had inks as well, I didn't know, and so many beautiful stationeries and art supplies. They are also famous for their huge pens of watercolor. They have pen and fountain pen in a very unique Japanese style. This year they're presenting some pens wrapped up around Japanese bamboo paper, as well as these ink-soluble sticks, and they are new granulated colors, as well as pearlescent colors. I always stop by Nitran booth, represented by this amazing charcoal and graphite artist. SM-LT Art is an Estonian producer of paper and sketchbooks. I already collaborated with them last year. They made this new watercolor pad, as well as a tiny version of their famous squared sketchbooks. I think their design for sketchbooks is very unique, and they make it easy and natural friendly, as well as fancy at the same time. They have also this stone paper sketchbook. This is the huge booths of Royal Talent. Honestly, I avoid these very big booths because they are normally full of businessmen, like with suit, tie and everything, and I don't feel comfortable to talk to. I stopped by Favini, which is a paper brand from Italy, but they have only a school level, only student grade. Every hour they are providing workshop inside Creativeworld, which are somehow funded by different companies. The queue is starting from the workshop before, so it takes 1 hour standing up to get a spot, and I never took one. Here I'm showing some drawings with this holo marker, which is pretty unique, and I test them. They are basically two colors in one marker. You can combine as you want. Inside, the alcohol ink is liquid, so you actually use 100% of them. They claim that normal alcohol markers waste up to 30% of the color. As you see, they have very bright colors, and you can immediately layer them to increase tonal value, which is something I cannot do with Ohuhu. I already noticed this brand last year, and this year they told me they start selling in Europe as well. They are from Japan, so they are actually competitors of Copics, while Kum is a German brand born for sharpener in origin, but now known for brushes mainly. They are based next to Nürnberg, has Faber-Castell, which by the way was not at the fair. Their booth was very much artist oriented, with their philosophy as well. Here another workshop I couldn't get a spot in. Here I was at the booth of the Chinese company Baohong, famous for paper, but they also work together with Midin, which is another Chinese brand for art supplies in general, very affordable prices. They always have some painters over there, as well as this one, which is Schminke booth. And finally at Hahnemühle, which is one of the biggest booths at the fair, no update on their natural line, which last year added sugar cane paper to the bamboo and the other ones, which I tested by the way and was amazing. But they introduced this new sketchbook, 100% cotton. The difference from the old one is just that the paper edges are raw in a more handcrafted feeling. Here is Felice Feltracco, which is a famous landscape watercolor artist from Italy, at the Tintoretto booth, an Italian brand famous for their high quality brushes. Walking around, I jump into this brand of professional watercolor from Florence, which I didn't know, which is kind of strange because I'm from there. So I immediately had to test them. Talked to the owner. They explained me that they were born originally as producer for My Mary, the beginning of the 20th century. They launched this year this portable, travel-friendly solution for watercolor pens. They are currently located next to Siena, so Tuscany as well. Their watercolors are honey-based, but they explain me they don't suffer of the typical honey-based watercolor problems, such as binding, pigment separation, color reactivation. I was here at the Chinese booth of Miya, which is most famous known for Himi gouache. And I was amazed by the amount of products they have and their packaging, which is very unique. Beyond their most famous jelly gouache, they also produce acrylic gouache, as well as watercolor, metallic, with so many different color combination and possibilities that I was completely lost to. But I haven't tried jelly gouache yet, but I'm kind of curious because it looks so juicy. Even have proper gouache pad, wow. The Miya sponsoring artist over there was a Netherlands artist, very friendly. We have a short talk about gouache and acrylic gouache and jelly gouache, and she was showing up some work of her. While here I was at the booth of Borciani Bonazzi that showed me their new doppio brush, which means double. They had already produced their first doppio brush a couple of years ago and was kind of successful. Specifically for watercolor, this time they focus on urban sketch, which is, in their opinion, very popular right now. It is on one side very long hair and on the other one a squared brush for quick skies, for example, or fill out quickly some areas of your painting. While this one was the doppio number 1, as you see it's very juicy for watercolor paintings. And another new product they show me is this miniature painting brush. Here is Felice Feltracco finishing his painting I showed you before, and here Nila Colori is another handmade watercolor producer from Italy. They show me in their brochures all the pigments they create and how they are very family-based company, so I want to give them a good shout out. Looking for Holbein, I found this boot from Kunst & Hobby, which is the European importer of Holbein, Japanese brand of gouache, from Osaka, as well as Turner, which is the other most famous competitor. Finishing day 1 of the fair, there were this band playing Pretty Woman for some reason. On the morning after, I went specifically looking for Caran, Swiss producer of pencil and charcoals and pastels, just like the new ones they are showing me, called Neo Art. They explain me that they are professional pastels that mix perfectly with the pencils based on oil. They have a complete set of single ones as well as sets. Since they are based on oil, they are practically waterproof, but you can easily erase them or smudge them to create some effects. You can even scratch them out to create highlights. You can easily apply them on any surface, just like this you see. This way you can give in them a matte effect and they are completely waterproof.
Und das Wachs, das stiftet quasi die Oberflächen. Und man hat den Perleffekt.
Das macht's wasserproof. Here the full set of Caran Luminance, which is their top level professional colored pencil. By the time I finish talking to Caran, I miss another workshop. Yes, and this time I regret so much because they were giving beyond some acrylic stuff also the Royal Talent sketchbook, which is on my wish list to try sketchbook for a long time. It was actually interesting to watch because they basically inked on the top of the sketchbook cover and this was the result. Before leaving I went on top of the Dome Church next to this main square in Frankfurt center to get a view on the main river and the skyscrapers over there, kind of Manhattan they call it. So what was your impression of these new products and all these exciting materials I show you in this video? Tell me in the comments. If you have any question about what you saw or what you didn't see, you may ask me, of course, in the comments as well. I will have the pleasure to answer you. I leave you the link to the Creativeworld vlog I did last year, and I thank you for watching so far. I thank you and I see you in the next video. Bye guys!